Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh in the Town. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. It's a frustrating FA Cup day at Kenilworth Road. Sees a very strong Luton Town team held to a 0-0 draw by League One players Bolton Wanderers. We're going to discuss that game in a little bit more detail and ask the question, is the FA Cup different now that we're in the Premier League? Is the magic of the Cup still there for you? Obviously that result means that the Burnley game is now on Friday evening. And so we'll have a quick look at that one too. We'll have your 3-word reviews and much, much more. And as usual, we have with me tonight, we have Bataro and Steve. Good evening, fellas.
Hello.
How are you going?
Evening. Yeah, pretty good, mate. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
The weekend, obviously, FA Cup, the magic of the FA Cup. We're always told it's magical. But it didn't work out how we wanted it to be.
No, it went how I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a close one, a bit of a turgid affair, to be honest with you, and it turned out that way. It just didn't seem to sort of roll. Maybe intensity wasn't there, but I thought several players just couldn't quite get up to that level, and it was only going to take one moment, and unfortunately it just didn't come.
Yeah, like you say, it was very flat, wasn't it, boys?
Yeah.
It's just I mean, like I say, I didn't actually get to go to it. So I had bloody duties, but I managed to watch it. Excuse me. On Paddy Power, but yeah, it wasn't the best, was it? So.
No.
It's disappointing, really, because you go there full of expectation. We are now the people that teams want to beat. The lower league team wants to beat a Premier League team, and let's face it, we are one of those. And so there was a big potential banana skin there. So, did it feel different in that respect? Hello, Hudson.
Yeah, thank you, Hudson.
Yeah.
It was difficult. If you look at it, a team allegedly struggling down in the bottom of the Premier League and a high-flying League One side, that's got all the makings of a banana skin. We put out a really strong side, I have to say, and I think when we saw the team, we thought, well, we're going to find a way through it, haven't we?
Three or four changes, that was it. But
But I thought, Ogbene couldn't really get a run on the guy an awful lot. He couldn't get to use the pace how he wanted to. I think, Barkley, he tried to be instrumental. We tried to create things. It's just one of those frustrating days. They didn't offer anything to make us scramble and struggle.
Do you not think that Bolton did a job on us, really?
Do you know what? I was just saying this before, obviously, we started recording. I felt like they were very well set up. And do you know what? You have to give them some praise. You have to give them plaudits, because the fact of the matter is, especially in that first half, for me, they sort of just, I'm not saying they created anything or, did a number or something like that, but it was just the way they set up.
Defensively,
tactically and defensively, they were very, very solid, and you thought, this could be a tough one. I mean, I've watched them play two or three times this season. I watched them the other week against Portsmouth, and they look like a decent side. So let's not get that twisted. They are not a bad side.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tactics that we use. We get lots of crosses in and stuff like that. In the Premier League, it's almost a bit of a novelty, and I think that sort of plays to us. It's meat and gravy, meat and veg, or whatever, but it's normal everyday stuff to Championship, League One, League Two. So maybe our normal tactics played into their hands a little bit, and they had some big lads at the back.
Yeah, they did, and I don't want to be patronising. It's going to sound patronising, but they came here to do a job and they did it. They did it well. They are like second in League One.
Yeah,
they've got a couple of games in hand, I think, now of the top team. Is Portsmouth top?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so. They win those, they could be in the Championship, and God forbid we don't stay up. We'll be playing them next season.
Course,
exactly.
Let's have a look at how fine it is. Sorry,
it's quite fine. Let's have a look at your 3-word reviews for the FA Cup game at the weekend. Lee was expecting better. Graham didn't look interested. LTFC Dave, we need to spend. Andy, lack of intensity. JMO, finishing was poor. Jimmy, send the reserves. Nick, a clean sheet. And he put in brackets, which is more than 3 words, scraping the barrel for a positive. And Neville said, huffed and puffed. Is there anything there that suits you?
You go first, Batari.
Oh, thank you, sir. So kind, isn't he? Well, I mean, the one from Andy, lack of intensity. It's just like I say, especially first half, it was poor. I mean, and then going into the second half, there wasn't, like you say, there wasn't that extra spark. There was no bite. It was just very, like the ball retention was just too long, in my opinion, as well. It was, you keep hold of the ball for too long.
I thought it was a bit laboured with the ball, Jim.
Yeah, it was just sluggish. And I mean, like I say, credit to Bolton, but I think at times we have to look at ourselves because it just weren't quick enough. And it was almost, I'll be honest, at one point I thought to myself, Christ, I might go in the garden and play with the boy in a minute because this is, do you know what I mean? This is ridiculous. But yeah, it was a bit like that.
And Steve?
Need to spend, obviously, within the sensible sort of parameters that we work within, but I thought Elijah and Morris on the day didn't work. I think Morris struggled a bit, to be honest with you. It certainly wasn't one of his best games. It'd be lovely if we could find a little gem from somewhere, and it's not on the list, but Steve done Like Pulling Teeth. I thought that was a really good 3-word review as well.
Was that you, Steve, by any chance?
Yeah. I thought it was worthy of being published.
Oh, well, it's not on the sheet, mate, so I'm lucky.
Let's have a look at the match. Luton 0, Bolton 0. 4 changes from Chelsea. Obviously, Cole, Ogbeni, Morris and Chong for Kaminsky, Kabore, Brown and Townsend. You could see the goalkeeper change. I mean, Kaminsky's been brilliant.
Yeah.
But Krul didn't have much to do, if I'm honest. We actually, against what you said there, Batara, I thought the first 6 or 7 minutes we were on it.
Yeah,
and we were
on fire, weren't
totally
we?
on it.
Yeah.
And at that point, are we not thinking, well, if we keep this pace up, we're going to break them down?
But this is the fact, though. If the 6 or 7 minutes, like you say, it was good. I mean, but at the same time, it's just like as soon as the ball got turned over and they had a tiny bit of possession, it was like, well, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And we did absolutely nothing with it. But like I say, I know we discussed it like before that. And obviously, I probably said it pretty a bit too far-fetched. I went, they were the better team in the first half. Maybe they weren't the better team, but it was very even, though, wasn't it? It was very, very close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as Dave said, first 6 or 7 really, really good. After that, I think it was going to be one of those games where it could have been 1-0 either way. They had a couple of sort of set plays, free kicks right at the very, very end, as it turned out. But if we had got one in fairly early on, it could have been 3, 4 or 5. We don't know, but sometimes you need to get goals at good times. When you're on top, it didn't happen, and that's when it became a bit of a slog.
Apart from the intense coldness of being in Kenilworth Road, it was freezing.
Yeah.
There was nothing there to warm us up. There was no real big chances there. If we think about first half,
There wasn't even a half chance, was there, in that first half?
well, we can talk about a couple of times when Ross Barkley got the ball and sort of
long range shots. You mean?
You could say fairly sort of straight at the
Routine,
keeper. Lovely effort from Lakonga. Outstep of his boat. That was beautiful.
The way that moved.
Beautiful.
You pointed that out before we came on it.
Oh, mate, honestly, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I thought it was going in the bottom corner. Obviously, when I watched it on TV, and I was like, if he scores that, the next one, I'm thinking, if only that. I mean, because people have spoke about the technique on that. That was world-class technique.
For irony point of view, for me, if he was a little bit further out, he'd have had more time to turn in. He was turning in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because me and Lenny, my grandson, we were up in the main stand, and we were sort of just outside the penalty area, and that looked really, really close. I have to say, I think
it was probably like a yard, was it? If not half a yard, maybe away, if that.
Oh, yeah, I think it was closer than that. But I think the keeper had it covered. I mean, I thought their keeper was pretty good. He was quite commanding on crosses. Yeah. I think he had it covered.
It was, that they had one chance of any real mention really in the first half. I mean, it reminded me of how we were when we were in League One and we wanted to get that next fixture. I felt they were tenacious, but they didn't really create too much.
I mean, if you think, do you remember League Two though, when we played Newcastle in the Cup? I think we were sort of rabbits in the headlights and went sort of 3-0 down quite quickly. Got one back. We relaxed and thought, the game's over. We got one back. Then we got another one back. Hilton was given offside, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And say that would have brought it back to 3-2, and it was clearly onside. At that point, we had a real cutting edge, and I don't think Bolton ever showed that real cutting edge. They might do up at their place. It might be a completely different game. But
that might help us out, though.
But, you know, if you're looking for comparisons about when we were sort of down the divisions and them, I thought we showed much more of a cutting edge.
It was a difficult watch.
Yeah.
It was a difficult watch. And, you know, credit to the Bolton fans, by the way. Very noisy the whole game.
That's all I could hear. That's all I could hear on TV. Brilliant.
Yeah, there was a lot of noise from them, and they were, you know, I genuinely wanted to score, and sorry Bolton fans if you're listening to this, I genuinely wanted to score so we could sing 1-0 on your big day out, and it didn't happen.
That do you know, that song sucks.
I love it.
Oh no,
I love it, especially when you can sing it to someone else, not the other way around. But they were on it. They were having a great time, and unlike some of our fans who were getting really frustrated that we weren't showing the class we perceive we have as a Premier League team.
Well, it must be frustrating. Sorry, Dave, jump in there. It must be frustrating the fact that, you know, you put up such good performances against Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and whoever else. And with all due respect to Bolton, they're nowhere near as good as these teams, and we're not showing, you know, like I say, going back to intensity. We're not showing the desire, the will to win. It's just, I understand it's a different. Technically, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're playing like a League One team. Obviously, who set up very different. Maybe we're not. We're probably maybe coached to, you know, not to break down teams and have possession. Probably coached to, like, you know, sit back, maybe counter, and do your basics. Whereas we had to probably go a little bit out of our comfort zone tactically. Yeah, go and explore the game.
Because Ogbene played right back, and I think that's a waste of a player. You know, for the attacking threat that he's got to be sort of further back on the pitch. I think that's a waste of a player as far as I'm concerned.
Second half game starts, and again you're hoping that we're going to be a bit more on the
just
front.
one moment. It was just needed one moment of Premiership quality, which almost came with Alfie, but it just didn't happen on the day.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about. The Morris header.
Oh, what a save.
That was a moment.
Yeah, that was a really good cross, pinpoint header, but it was straight at the keeper. Well, just above his head. You know, let's give the guy some credit, but really quick reactions.
Oh, mate, honestly, from a goalkeeper's point of view, I think you've got to look at that and say that is top-class goalkeeper. His position for that was insane. Honestly, I had to applaud it. I mean, like you say, it's straight at him pretty much.
Yeah, but it was just above his head. Yeah, I mean, it was a reaction save. It was great, but I thought it was a great header from Morris. I don't think he could have done anything else with it, to be honest with you. I
thought Jordan Clark came on, had a pretty decent impact on the game. He had another chance. And for me, one more touch to the right, he scores there.
Deflected, wasn't it?
It was deflected.
Wide,
yeah, and I think Jordan Clark, again, he's another one of these players that probably needs a run of games just to get that extra little bit of sharpness.
I thought he might have started yesterday, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so as well. But let's say he'd been in 9 or 10 games. I think he would have been in such a groove and a bit more up to speed. He'd have got a couple of the shots away a little bit quicker, maybe before they got deflected. You know, I remember Danny Hilton, he would always take a number of games to get back up to full speed after an injury, and I think Clicker's the same as that.
It's still frustrating because I look at our team and you look where we are in the division, and these are games that you don't want to go to replays and extra time and penalties and all that sort of stuff, especially with the fixture list what we've got coming up. And now we know, because of this result, a fixture has changed for us. So it was a bit disappointing to see. Firstly, I want to say, before I mention the whole thing, Gabe Osho got man of the match, and I would have picked him out. I thought he was really good. Yeah, really, really steady and solid, and
he was almost playmaking from the back as well, wasn't
he?
So, he was very good, to be fair.
Yeah, there was a couple of times where he was looking for a pass and there was nothing on, so he did sort of break through the line and go forward with it. You know, again, maybe people weren't making the runs as much, but Osho was good, and again, I think Mengi was excellent. Week in, week out, those two really. And
also Alfie Doughty. He can't do anything wrong at the moment.
No, this guy's he's special, isn't he? I don't think I've seen a fullback at Luton. Well, obviously I've seen many fullbacks at Luton, but not as good as this guy, and not as confident as this guy. He's lightning quick. Like I say it every week, the same thing. Lightning, technically very good. And now I hear he's attracting a bit of interest as well.
It's almost at the point. It's almost at the point where you think, we could do with him getting injured, almost to take him out of the line of people looking at him. But no, I mean he's really stepped up, because if you think he didn't start first game, I don't believe it. You know, it was Giles, so he had to force his way back in sort of after a couple, and he's gone on. He's just gone up a couple of levels.
Yeah. His mentality's really.
He's a menace against all the other teams that we've played this season. He's been a menace,
and he's always the same one. Sorry, Dan, I don't want to talk. He's the only one that I hear. Obviously, people I speak to, whoever else who support other Premier League teams, all I hear is, that Doughty. That's all I hear is Doughty this, Doughty that. Incredible, what a player! He could play at a higher level or whatever else. But technically, he's playing at the highest level. So
yeah,
you know,
if we don't tie him up for longer, especially if we got this petition that we might lose him at some point. We're a bit foolish, aren't we?
Yeah, there's been a few sort of sagas like this over the last couple of years where I've thought, you know, how have we let this contract run down and that? We don't know the full story. It might be because the player has decided he doesn't want to sign an extended deal at a certain stage. That may well be it. But yeah, there's been a few over the last couple of years. You think, I just can't believe that we've let this one sort of run down.
I'm not talking about any individual player right now, but you can see an agent getting involved and going, well, if we let the contract run out, you'll get more of a big signing on fee because they won't have to pay.
Yeah.
But if you're Luton Town staff, you're going to, if we sign him on and we know we're going to lose him, we need to make some profit out of this guy.
Plus, obviously, if you tie him down to a bigger contract as well, you get more money, don't you, as well? So, it's, I mean, like you say, we all know the management and whoever else behind the scenes. We all know that they will be trying to get him on a longer contract. That's obvious, but you know, like I say, if you can't do it, then
so the board haven't gone. Oh shit, we've got about Doughty's contract. You know,
of course,
it's nothing like that.
They'll be monitoring that every month, won't they?
Is he good enough for a top 16?
Do you know what? On the current form from this season, 100% yes. For me, he's probably the best. Well, one of the best left backs in the league on form.
Yeah, a top 6 team isn't going to snap him up.
You don't think?
No, I don't.
So you're looking more of a Brighton or a Brentford or a Fulham.
Definitely mid-table. And then I think is that
Everton.
Yeah, is it a forward step for him? It might be wages wise, but is it a forward step for him? But I think he's absolutely mustard.
I compare him. Sorry, Steve. I just compare him to, like, you know, say for example, you look at Man United, their left back. Who is it, Malacia or whatever, or whoever's playing at the moment. Or sure, I genuinely think he's better than both of them.
Yeah, no.
I look at Chilwell at Chelsea. I think he's much better than him.
Yeah, maybe it's looking at it as a player at Little Luton. Maybe that's where I'm coming from. But you know, yeah. But it's undoubted that he's absolutely mustard. But do you remember we were talking a couple of months ago, and every week it was Ogbene, absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. Now it's Doughty and it's been Elijah as well. It's good to see that different players, we've said constantly about Osho and Mengi and Kaminsky, so we're constantly talking about all these different players that are really hitting great heights this season.
And it's nice as well that we're not relying on just one or two players as well. We've got, like I say, we mentioned, like say 5-6 players, like I say, it's every week it's the same thing. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to see. They're all putting in the shift and putting in their weight. So that's what we love about this club as well.
Yeah. So talking about Alfie though, with 6 minutes to go, I think our best chance of the game, he picks up the ball and he smashes it in, and it's a goal, isn't it? It's a goal and it hits the inside of the post and rebounds back out to him. And then we have the incident where VAR gets involved and the referee didn't see what everybody else in the stadium could see, Batari.
Did they even check it? I know they did check it. Supposedly they did check it, but really did they check it? Because if they had checked it, because obviously what I've written down here is knee and Doughty's standing leg that takes him out. I believe it was the opposition's knee as he gets up.
Yeah. Oh no!
Like collides right into the side of his knee, and he just.
It's a big penalty, isn't it? And listen,
it's a clear foul.
Yeah.
Can I just say this before we talk about VAR? I don't think if everybody in the competition doesn't have it, I don't think individual teams should have it.
No, that's it. I agree.
Steve scrubs out notes to bring up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think that is the point. I mean, we went to Newcastle; they had it. Yeah. But in the other games, they didn't use it. You know, who chooses which games can use? Is it because it's televised?
No. VAR is effective if it's a Premier League ground.
Yeah, if it's in use.
Okay, and the rest of the time it isn't. But you know, talk about belittling your own competition when you've got different sets of rules depending on where the game is being played. It's complete nonsense. It just makes it unimportant, and they've done that to themselves.
I must admit, I don't like the fact that they use VAR in, like, say, how many grounds, 20 grounds, whatever.
Yeah.
In the competition, but you can't use it anywhere else.
But it was a stonewall penalty, and as Robbie Edwards said, he never complains about decisions, and he said that was a glaring error.
And it's meant to be clear and obvious. It was totally clear and
Yeah.
obvious.
I mean,
so
like,
Bolton.
Why would he go down? That's the thing. Why would he go down? Because the thing is, he gets away from him and he puts the ball back in the box.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go down. And even, he didn't really complain. I think because he probably would get booked this day and age. You would get booked if complaining too much.
There wasn't too many people appealing for it though.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter though.
No. Look, Bolton Wanderers fans will go, yeah, we got away with that. But overall, let's be fair to Bolton Wanderers. They deserved something out of that game. They deserved another chance. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, the way they set up, and say they had a couple of free kicks sort of late on, and they could have nicked it, and that was probably their game plan. So fair play to them, and it'll be a very different Bolton, I think,
Yes.
at their place. They'll be roared on, and I think it'd be a difficult night. But as we've gone up through the divisions, you think the amount of hard away games midweek that we've worked our way through. Bradford away, absolute bog of a pitch. But that's just one of many. So we have got it in us.
I did look up earlier, and I can't remember the whole facts, but I looked up how many times we'd actually got past. We got knocked out in the third round.
Right.
And I think it was since the competition's begun.
When did it begin, by the way?
1800s.
Oh, Dave, I'm disappointed.
It's not very good research, is it?
Steve, go on. When did it start?
I wasn't asked. I've not researched it.
Let me just ask you. When was it?
Oh, I don't know. Steve.
Oh,
no, hang on a minute. I thought you boys might have known and give me some knowledge, seeing as though you're the wiser older head. So,
Anyway.
Shocking at your jobs.
I think it got into about 28, 29 times we've been knocked out in that round.
Right.
And some seasons we never even got anywhere near it.
I say conference, we had to qualify. Oh no, not quite. Was it round one or qualification? No, it was qualification, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fourth round qualifying, wasn't it? Yeah.
The replay is the last thing we really needed. Really, we had 63% possession. We had 18 shots, 6 on target, and we should have taken our chances as we go. Just to mention while you're watching, the FA Cup draw is on in a moment, and we'll react to that live as soon as we see it, and we'll see what happens. So we got that going on. We failed to win 4 of the last 6 FA Cup home matches against teams from a lower division, and it's kind of depressing that we have a replay. A replay. What's a replay? It's kind of depressing we're having a replay.
Yeah.
Given what we know about the Premier League, for one season, I'm not interested in the FA Cup. If we have a run, that'd be great. But do we not prioritise?
No, sure we have to. Of course, you have to prioritise. Sorry, we need to stay in the Premier League, in the division. You know what I mean? But clearly, financially, that's probably why. But I'll be honest, Dave, I am a massive FA Cup fan, and I love the competition. I really want to stay in it. But like you say, if you have to prioritise and it gets a bit too much, the fixture list of building up and whatever else, then fine. So be it. Maybe put out a weaker team, but no, I don't know. I'd love to see us get to the quarterfinals or something like that. Because you know what? Why can't we do it now?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, obviously, we'll see what happens in the draw and that may have an effect on the team that we pick. We don't know. But I mean, I hear people sort of talking all the time. They say about the magic of the cup. And I think the magic of the cup exists under certain circumstances. I think if you're a smaller club, go into a big club, then clearly the magic of the cup exists. Or if you're hosting a big club, absolutely. But I find there's nothing more depressing than getting a draw from someone in the same division as you.
Yeah, see, I was just about to say
when was in the Championship and the League One, if you get another one, you think, it's just like another league.
It was either get like a lower team and hopefully progress, obviously, expected to progress, or you get a big team going a big day out kind of thing and have it. So
So I think there's scenarios where it does still exist, but there's plenty of scenarios where it doesn't. I mean, when we went to Norwich, that was the magic of the cup, because I think Luton as a club and as a set of fans, they wanted the world to bloody remember that we're still there and we're still fighting, and that turned into a great day out.
I made history as well, didn't we?
Talking about the magic of the cup, there's a really great stat that producer Jacobs left for us. He got it from @FaxLuton on Twitter, or X as we should call it these days. Since the last meeting with Bolton Wanderers in January 1997, Luton have faced 147 different teams. That's some going, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Steve, you touched on the magic of the FA Cup. We did ask everybody else about the magic. What was magic about the FA Cup for you? When we know when we were in the lower leagues, it was always about. I genuinely believe back in the 70s when I was a bit younger that we normally started in round 3, which is cool, and well, I can't see that now.
You like it, so do one.
Oh my God. So we're moving the phone round so we can see the fixtures as they come in.
So
on the cup.
they will come up at the fixtures. The Magic FA Cup for me was the draw, which was on the radio.
Right.
The magic of the FA Cup for me was getting that tie against the bigger teams. And I generally thought back in the 70s, any team could win the FA Cup. That's not quite true anymore.
I remember I was at work one sort of lunchtime and the draw was on the radio and stuff like that. So, yeah, and you're really keen to see who you got.
So let's see if we can create some magic for the FA Cup right now. We're gonna live react to the draw when they start bringing the balls out and stuff like that. We're at ball number
1, isn't it?
Uno.
That makes a change.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah. I think they do it alphabetically.
So AFC Bournemouth. Thank you very much. We talk about the magic of the cup though. Here we go, because the FA Cup draw was part of that back in the day, and the fact that all the games are played on the same day practically, and the semi-finals are on the same day, not on the television, and you had to wait for match of day. That was the magic of the cup.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and there's been some massive away supports as well during this round. Bristol City took 9 or 9,500 at West Ham.
Did you see the crowd as well?
Yeah, and was it Altrincham or Aldershot took 4 or 4,500?
Aldershot, wasn't it?
Aldershot took 4,500.
Do you think, given the fact that we're in the Premier League now, and we say we drew Newcastle away, do you think we take that sort of people up that time?
Yeah, I do, because I think nearly everyone thought weekender.
Yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, absolute bender. That's it.
Okay, Manchester United away.
Yeah, well, I think Man U, I think they probably give about 9,000. I think we would do, mate, because there's so many people that couldn't go to the league game. Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah.
So that brings the magic of the cup back.
Yeah, that's right, because it's a big day out, as the song goes. You know, going to one of the big clubs.
I must admit, though, obviously from my point of view, obviously growing up, obviously watching, obviously I don't know how I was. Sorry, 2011. So. Yeah, whatever, I can't remember. But anyway, I can't work maths out. But no, back then obviously I was a lot younger.
What year were you born in, Bataro?
I can't remember, 1994.
94.
Yeah.
So 6 and 11. 6 and 11?
No, I can't work that out, mate.
Okay,
17. Then. Was I really 17? Jeez, I thought I was a lot younger than that. Christ. But anyway, even going back to that, I mean, that was probably, well, not probably the first big day out, but one of my first. Oh, hello.
So here we go. Oh, no.
Yeah, scummers.
All right, so the first one up is Watford. Watford are at home too.
Yeah, people will be knowing this anyway, but please not us.
Oh, yeah.
They're at home to Southampton. Well, that's them out then, hopefully. Yeah. That's good.
Apparently, Watford's win at the weekend, fluky though it was, that was their first win since they got battered by Man City in the final, which was, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Blackburn Rovers
they
out
won in
now.
the end of the day.
They won 2-1.
No, you're joking.
Since then, that's when they've lost every cup game
Number
since
2. Who's that?
Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Good. Well, let's hope Blackburn can stuff Wrexham.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Their journey's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, the romance of the story, yeah.
Yeah. 26.
Oh.
Go on, Steve.
Bournemouth.
See, I don't want to play Bournemouth at home. Would you want to play Bournemouth?
No.
No, not at all.
I don't want to go to Bournemouth.
24.
Well, we're not.
That's Swansea City.
One thing is, we're not going to be able to play Arsenal. They were terrible at the weekend, weren't they?
I didn't see it, to be honest. Were they really poor? Apparently, they should have been 2 or 3 up quite early on.
I think they hit the bar twice as well.
Yeah.
West Bromwich Albion at home. Who have they got then? Come on.
It's too much silence for me.
Yeah.
The magic of the FA Cup is still there for some reasons, right? But are we that bothered?
No, not really. You know, it's the odd individual fixture that you'd be keen to win, depending on who it
West
is.
Ham or Bristol City.
But no. To us, it has to be finding a way of staying in the Premier League, because I think our performances deserve it as well. To be honest with you,
so they're potential West Ham, Notts Forest, not Nottingham Forest, not Notts Forest.
Yeah, the only good thing is, it get like the bigger teams play, to play each other. Then
because you knock them out, and then you suddenly think you might have a
chances,
chance of winning. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Who we got now?
That's Leicester.
Leicester City. So they're on a roll, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah. Well, and Dewsbury Hall, and Justin got a beauty a couple of weeks ago, didn't
Oh,
he?
mate, fantastic
Lovely
strike,
goal.
wasn't it? So Leicester versus Hull City or Birmingham?
Well, that's them through.
Yeah.
That's how you look at it.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
None of the big teams have come out yet, and I include us in that. We asked you guys, has the FA Cup lost its magic to you, and why do we always struggle against the league teams in the Cup? We might just stop when we see Luton come up. Chris says the FA Cup is great, but it's different for us at the moment when we were in the lower leagues, getting the big games against Liverpool, Chelsea, etc. It was exciting, but now because we've been brilliant in the league, we get these games every few weeks. So if we get through a few rounds, it'll get exciting. Bolton did really well on Saturday, as have other clubs from different levels. So hope there are some more good ties. And I get that. Chelsea, Aston Villa, that'll be on telly.
Yep.
You know,
of course.
Yeah, no, it's a decent tie.
that is a decent tie.
Hopefully Villa will do that.
Another Premier League team goes out. I want the non-league team at
you?
home,
Okay.
Yeah.
because then we go to the next round.
Well, you think?
For definite. No, for definite. Ipswich playing Manchester United. Is that what it says?
No,
Maidstone. Maidstone.
damn.
Christ almighty, Dave.
Who did Maidstone beat?
I have no idea.
I can't think, to be fair.
It was Stevenage.
Oh,
Hey.
Come on.
So Ipswich would be thinking they're in the next round. Liverpool now at home. Do we want that one?
Yeah, I'll have a go at that.
Number 5.
You can imagine Bolton Wanderers fan at this moment saying, "Please, another big Premier, another big Premier League team."
What about
again,
Jake? What did Jake say?
Has the FA Cup lost its magic to you? Jake says, short and sweet, yes, but it's football that's lost its magic, not the FA Cup specifically. I believe the system football has taken the flair out of football and made it more of a strategic board game rather than, well, football. FA Cup will gain its magic when football finds its magic again. Well, that's a bit surreal, Jake, but I think Tottenham versus Manchester City.
Yeah.
Great. Get all these big boys out.
Need to make sure we do Bolton.
And now the magic of the cup starts to stir, doesn't it? Because now you're thinking, actually, another one goes, and you can avoid them right to the final.
Yeah, I can say if it opens up for sort of middle to lower Premier League teams, then absolutely brilliant.
So we look at Leeds United. Please,
I'll
nice.
take Leeds.
How many teams are left here?
Not many now.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Plenty left. Yeah, I think Jake's got a point there, though. I think it's just football in general. You know, I mean, the fact that there's so many games on the telly as well. You know, it
Leeds, Plymouth,
you know,
bloody hell.
it does just sort of.
Crystal Palace or Everton?
No, thank you.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
there you go.
There we go. So Crystal Palace or Everton, wait us now. I would hope it would be
Palace.
Crystal Palace rather than Everton.
Yeah.
Does that bring the magic of the FA Cup back to you?
I mean, don't get it wrong. I always wanted to do Palace away for some weird reason. I don't know why. Obviously, I've done Everton this season. But the answer to your question is, it's a bit of a one of those ones for me. I think I just wanted like not being rude, but I wanted a lower league team just to progress. 'Cause obviously, like you see, there's some big teams being.
Other teams will be looking at that. So we're talking about the Magic FA Cup now. Other teams look at this draw and go, there's a lot of Premier League teams been drawn against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut down the chances that, you know what, we might have a run here.
Yeah. A disappointing draw, though. To be honest with you, if we get.
I hope
past
it's not
Bolton.
Everton again.
Has the FA Cup lost its magic to you? Richard said it hasn't, but this year is really a year we can do without a cup run. I know I'll get some flack for it, but really all focus should be on staying in the Premier League. I trust the board and Rob to adjust in the event of us going down. If we were just going to treat this season as a free hit, then we wouldn't have signed players like Barkley, Townsend, Lokonga and Mengi if we weren't serious about it. Consolidate this season and go for it next season when we have a stronger foothold.
I wholeheartedly agree with that comment because that's my nephew.
Sin says, do you know what? If anyone's playing Owen the Town podcast bingo, you'd have got the grandson reference. That would have been knocked out straight away. now another relative, Steve.
Yeah,
You've got
I
any
know.
more that would listen?
Got more on commission, mate.
Sin says we are better absorbing pressure than on the counter-attacking. Saturday we showed an inability to dominate teams with possession. Although as long as we finish 17th, I'll be happily lose 5-0 at Bolton. So he doesn't care about the magic of the FA Cup. It is, Chaz, although to a lesser degree recently we've been a team designed to play with little possession. We win by stopping and the other team have shots on goal. But when do the opposition gives us more time on the ball and time to think, we don't know what to do with it. Lots of wrong decisions and non-decisions on Saturday. So that's why we struggle against lower league teams in the Cup.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't got a lower league team potentially in the next round.
No. The tactics might be easier for us. You know, it would sort of just be, you know, like a Premier League game.
And to be fair, we've beaten both them teams as well this season. So
yeah, we have.
Disappointing though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a team from the same division, like I mentioned earlier.
So typical, isn't it? Really.
Can we have a brief chat about Friday now? Because Friday now becomes more important than the FA Cup to me.
Yeah.
We need a result against Burnley, don't we?
We need to win. I mean, especially after they beat us at home.
Yeah, that was a sickener. I mean, it was another worldie just after we'd scored, wasn't it? So,
sorry, language.
Okay, but that was a gut. So we if we can get a win there, that'd be fantastic.
So we pay no attention to the FA Cup at this point. We put out our best team to do the best job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not even a consideration.
It's a must not lose for me on Friday.
Yeah, initially, yeah.
A must not lose. It's not a must win. It's a must not lose. Do not give them Hudson's going again.
Yeah.
Don't give them that 3 points against us, because that makes our task even harder.
So what would you do, Dave? Because I said earlier that Ogbene was wasted at right back. We lost all his attacking threat. What would you do with Kabore out of the picture?
You put me on the spot there. And the answer is I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I like the fact that
Doughty, I think, has to go there.
But you lose so much of what he gives as well.
I know, but he still does a good job on the right hand side.
Yeah, he does, but it
gives Giles a chance, then, doesn't it, as well? If he performs, then it might. And to be fair, then you've always got the option of Ogbene as well to come on in that position, or to drop back if you need to, in order to put Doughty at left back again. But it's a tough one. I mean, you might even go out, like I said. I think last week when we said, who do we need to sign? I said, probably a right-sided defender that can play at right back. And I think this is what we need to look at now.
Yeah, that and definitely another goal scorer.
Well, the transfer window is still open. There's lots of rumours, and that's all they are right now. I think the business is done last week of the transfer window, personally.
Yeah.
I would imagine we'll bring someone in. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, Edwards assured us that we would come out of the window stronger than when we went into it, so fingers crossed that he wouldn't have said that unless he's been given assurances by the club.
No, of course.
And he knows that certain deals are maybe further down the line. It looks like this Ecuadorian has made a choice, or there's two Premier League clubs that have
Man United and Brighton, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Our next 4 Premier League fixtures could actually tell us where we're going. Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle, Sheffield United.
I'll tell you what, though, they're all winnable. Obviously, they're all winnable games anyway. Because we always, especially to me anyway, I always make things up. But
do we put out a weakened team against Bolton in the fact that we might be we know we have to get these wins?
I think if we've got any players that are running on fumes or carrying a niggle, then they should be out. They should be rested.
Yeah, of course. And I think, like you say, I think Jordan Clark needs to be given game time as well in that Bolton game. For me, he has to start.
Yeah. So out of those 4 games, I reckon draw at Burnley. I think we'll beat Brighton at home, lose to Newcastle, beat Sheffield United at home. So I'm going to go for 7 points out of those 4.
Which is good. It's a good tally for that.
Yeah, that's a good return.
Yeah. Bataro?
So Burnley, a win away at Burnley. A Brighton home win. Newcastle will lose. And Sheffield United will get a draw, just because it'd be typical of us.
So 7 also, but just a different variation.
Sheffield United are going to want to beat us.
Yeah, they'll be up for it.
Burnley are going to want to beat us. So if we're solid, the other year when we went last season when we went to Burnley, I thought we did really well.
Yeah.
So there's no reason we can't be.
First away game, I believe.
Yeah, it was the first away game of the season, and we went 1-0 up, and we were playing quite well.
Yeah, but you saying that, Dave, you're absolutely right. But if Burnley and Sheffield United really want to beat us, they're going to come at us, and that's going to play into our hands. That's going to let us be without the ball and do the counter-attacking. That is when we're at our best. So let's hope that is indeed the case.
I'm really nervous for Friday, I'll be honest. I'm really nervous for that game. Because it's one of those games.
You're right,
if we win,
it's a big result.
It's massive, it's huge. Yeah. It then puts us, is it 8 points adrift of them? or 7, something like that.
Yeah, clear of them. Yeah, it's definitely
and very close to moving out above Everton, and then it would have been Crystal Palace and Brentford.
Yeah, because
Keeps the pressure on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can say because Everton had a miserable Christmas, and I think if we're in a position where we can put them under real pressure, they might falter. So it may be that 10 points does come in handy at the end of the season.
Time will tell. Friday comes up. If you're going to Burnley, have a great trip. Let's come back with 3 points.
Yeah.
We'll have a think about the FA Cup at some point. Now we know where the future is.
Yeah.
The future's still bright, it's still orange. And, let's hope we get the 3 points. For me personally, I'd rather take the 3 points against Burnley.
Absolutely.
And lose against Bolton. If I had that choice and you could guarantee me that, then let's do that.
Not a doubt.
Not a doubt. Not to. But yeah, like I say, we'll be fine. I generally think we're going to be fine this season anyway. But like you say, this next month is crucial.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy that. If you had to rearrange your plans to get to Burnley because it's now on Friday rather than Monday.
Are you all right, Dave?
No.
Lost his voice.
Well, I imagine Mr. Crowther's had to change his plans.
Yeah, well, listen, I said this the other week. Mark is doing an incredible job. If you can get to sponsor him, please do. We'll be sponsoring him sort of very soon. We'll give him some money from company and everything else. But, if you've got a chance to sponsor Mark, please do that. I'm sure he's changed his plans, but then he's got Newcastle trip after that. I can't help thinking he's mad, but there you go.
Steroids, isn't he?
Well, his book says that too. Look, if you're going, enjoy it. Let's hope we come back with 3 points. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please do leave us some, like and follow and subscribe. That's all helpful for us. And leave some comments because we'd love to hear them. If you see us at a game, come over and say hello. And we'll see you again soon. We'll see you next week. Take care.
See you guys. Take care.
Thank you.